All right, y'all. First and hold on. Kids and people in here. All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to the Yahweh Shem Yahshua Thumb and the Son of Mashiach Yahushua. We know it's Jesus Christ. Let me get these invites in here, and I have to also go get these slides. I pray all is well. Y'all just bear with me a few minutes. Let me get this slide in here, maybe 3-4 minutes. Shalom, brothers.
Shalom, Mark.
Hey, shalom. Y'all about Shimon Sabakata.
Yeah, about your mashkata. All right, y'all. Shalom, Sister Celicia. So I recently, man, well, how's everyone? How's everyone doing?
All is well, brother. All is well.
I recently tried to get some health insurance. And you know how your phone, man, I don't know about y'all phone, but my phone be listening. My phone be listening. And it knew I was looking for some health insurance. And I filled out something with the government, man. I was like, okay, well, this might be the Lord. This might be the Lord talking. And I filled it out and waiting on some information, man. I received a letter today. They said you are denied. And it was a letter from DFAX. I was like, man, who the world? How I get a letter from DFAX? But that Medicaid or whatever that stuff is with the government, the social program, man. I don't know. I got denied, and it just, well, I know why I got denied because I'm not a single mother. I'm not a child. You know what I'm saying? And bringing in a certain income, and I don't even think the income was the issue, to be honest. But that's what kind of stirred up this class. Man, nobody really is going to stick their hand out for that man. And we're gonna see that too in the welfare program of the Lord. That is, it's hard to help people. It's hard to help a man that got all his limbs and can walk and talk, and when you see a brother like that, you're gonna say, man, you need to get a job, man. You need to go out here and do something, man. I can't just be giving away my money, man. You able to work and do what you need to do. It's hard for us to give our money up to those individuals when you see that. But you may not mind helping the woman, who outside with her kids. And sometimes these jokers will play on that. Sometimes they'll be around the corner and they'll let their wife, hold the sign up, or their girlfriend hold the sign up. with the kids talking about, they need a few dollars to get a hotel. But I know for me, sometimes it's hard for me. Sometimes I judge on if I'm gonna give that individual something. A lot of times based on his ability to work. Now if he ain't got no legs, and I don't even question it. I just get it, get that joke a couple dollars and keep it moving. But Joker out there look like he in better physical condition than I am. Like, man, be like, you be a little suspect, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Take care of the widows and the orphan. Go ahead, brother.
Nowadays, I see a lot of Indians out there with the whole family out there. They might have a bucket of flowers or something, but like on the off ramp of 124 and 20, it's always she got on full garb too. She's dark skinned though. She be out there every day faithfully, fully garbed up. Only thing showing is her eyes. Like she out there for probably 8 hours, 10 hours a day. But when I close to my house on this corner, this gets a lot of traffic. It's a whole family. They got like 3 kids, small kids, 2 with the stroller, and the mama. They got a bucket of flowers, and they just pleading to you. They got the hands together. They bow their head when your car pull up, and mumble some things to you. And yeah, I really don't fall for that because y'all making baby strong little kids. You can get out there and hustle just like everybody else. So, but I understand what you're saying about someone. You can see their ailments, you can see the disabilities, and sometimes them be the ones that drink a lot, or uh, they might even be on drugs sometimes. But you really have to be careful, or you just don't. Once that money leave your hand, don't think about it no more.
Right.
But yeah,
Even the all the trash men and the street cleaners and all this stuff in Columbus is done by the prisoners. So anytime a trash truck pull up and you out there, the prisoner's gonna ask you for something.
Mm.
And what you think they gonna ask you for?
Cigarette.
Cigarette. That's all they need. They don't need nothing else. They have no wants. Okay, they provide it for. They got food. They got shelter. They want a cigarette, man. And sometimes I be like, so I like, man, should I just leave a cigarette under the trash can? Like, I want to help, but it's like, but then are you even helping? Giving them cigarettes, are you helping them?
Hey, Shalakia.
Go ahead, bro.
I got 3. I want to make 3 points real quick. Cigarettes in jail when you incarcerated, that stuff be like gold. You see what I'm saying? That be like, that cigarettes in jail is like gold, bro. You know what I mean? You could bargain. You can bargain with all kind of stuff with cigarettes in jail, man. But to go back to what brother Dion was saying, about cause I be seeing that too when I go to Walmart. You see the whole family out there,
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like, what kind of man to do that with his family, bro? Like, you know how bad I be feeling out there, man, with my family, my wife and my kids, and a lot of these brothers don't even they have no shame about that. Like, they don't have no I'd be over there looking like Droopy the dog, bro. My confidence would be so low. I'm down there with my whole family, and they be over there eating mangoes. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't no problem, man. But yeah, so and so, but yeah, about that cigarette, man, that stuff, in jail, man, that's a whole nother That's a whole nother atmosphere, bro. Like cigarettes, sweets, that stuff like that. That stuff be gold in jail, brother. And brother.
Some great points, man. And it's gonna lead us somewhere, man. We're gonna ask it's gonna lead us somewhere. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. It's not a long class, y'all. About 15 slides, but they just little quick little one-two hitters about the orphans and the widows and the strangers. Deuteronomy 14, 28, and 29.
Deuteronomy 14 and 28. It reads, At the end of 3 years thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thine increase the same year, and shalt lay it up within thy gates. And the Levites, because they have no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied. And the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hand which thou doest.
So we see we see a tithe being brought forth in front of the gates for the Levites and the stranger and the fatherless and the orphan and the widow, which are in thy gates. And again, this is like a welfare program, all right? And it's a program for those who don't have an inheritance, because in the land, everybody's supposed to have an inheritance. Every man was supposed to inherit some land. And on that land, this man was supposed to grow fruits and within him growing those fruits and feeding his family, doing the labor that it takes to grow the food. He was supposed to bring a 10th part for those who don't have an inheritance, like one that is fatherless or a stranger or a widow. Now, even, the stranger don't have no inheritance either. And we have a situation going on today with in Chicago. What's the big thing in Chicago that they complaining about, that blacks are complaining about?
You got me.
Immigration.
The Latinos,
Latinos.
the immigrants, yeah.
They complaining about the immigrants
Taking all the jobs and
right, taking the jobs. The government is giving them money, so they getting a part of this tithe. And then we like, hey man, we can use that money. We need that money too. These folks just got here, and they can just come in here and start, making all this money, and y'all just giving them, y'all putting them up in hotels. What about our homeless problem? What about all the homeless people we got out here on the streets? Where are the programs for us? But we see here that those who had, not that we, not that this is our land, but we've been here longer than an immigrant that just crossed the border. We had more opportunities within the last 100 years to do certain things, to create an inheritance. We just not doing it. And so that's one of our issues, and why we're not growing and why we're not, producing anything. Why we still at the level we at, it's just, we're starting over every year. We start not every year, but every generation. We're starting over. We're not inheriting, oh, well, my grandma, I seen this one little clip of dude went down the line of his 5 grandmas that inherited this land, and the final grandma gave it to him, but nobody wanted it. It was just the land that was just out there, and he goes out there and builds a homestead. So he'll have something to leave for his kids in case something like that movie? Leave the world happens. Yeah. You got at least one family member that has something that you can go to where food being grown, etc. Blah 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 blah. But go ahead. I heard you finna say something.
Oh, Shalakia. And I don't know Chicago, but I know a lot of those immigrants have a lot to do with this war. With the Israelis, I know they allowing a lot of them come here and they setting up shelters and stuff like that. I'm not familiar with the Chicago incident. I don't know if they but I don't know which immigrants they are, but a lot of that stuff got to do with peace treaties that American is honoring. And when we understand an immigrant from a slave is two different things, right? You know, when you come here as an immigrant, you come in here in your free will. So coming in that way um tends to benefit you a little more. But if you come here as a slave and then having offsprings, we are looked at differently. When And so black folks really got to understand that captivity is real, because even though we are citizen on paper, a lot of things, and don't get me wrong, a lot of us get um welfare, you know, the kids and stuff like that, but welfare was never intended for that purpose. It was really brought about during the time of the Great Depression, where a lot of their families was disenfranchised, but then they turn it over to where black women can get it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think a lot of that thing, a lot of issue is when you come here as an immigrant, American is making some kind of treaty with you. But as a slave, no, they pretty much telling you what to do, when you do it, when to do it, and how to do it. And so I yell on that.
Yeah, it's I think too it'd be better said like a refugee. When you come here as a refugee, they've made certain provisions for you. I remember this brother, this Pakistani brother that I work with. He said they, because of the war with the Sunni and the other Muslims, I forget the name of the other ones, but because of that war, they took them to Australia as refugees, and they was paying them $400 a week, free shelter. They was like in paradise, and they gave him that for 2 years until till he got shipped to the U.S. But like you said,
Wow.
it's yeah, man. Like you said, it's some political stuff in there, you know. Also, when you're a refugee, but when you're an illegal immigrant, when you just jump that fence, it's supposed to be a little different. I think that's what's happening with and I say these folks in Chicago, these are us saying we don't want them here. And salute to ISUPK, because I seen them go out and did a clothing drive and a food drive for a lot of those immigrants out there, man. But you had Moors and jokers in the pleading for Trump to come and lock up the gate, shut the borders down. We acting a fool on that thing, man. It was a shut down school. It was a school in Chicago that was completely shut down. They used the school for a shelter. Negroes went crazy. That's our school. We're like, man, that
Wow.
school
Yeah,
been shut down 10
see
years,
that.
man.
I did see that.
Y'all
Wow.
been spray paint tearing that school up, man. Now all of a sudden he put somebody else in there.
Yeah.
Now y'all want to go crazy, man.
Give me my toy.
Yeah,
Give me, yep.
and it's mind boggling how oppressed people love to oppress people. I don't get that. Like,
Nah,
how
that's
can
it. You
how
get
can
it.
you?
It's just hard to you get it. But yeah, that's it, man. Go ahead. You like
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm saying this. I'm being facetious. Like
yeah.
that just it's just crazy. Like, how in the world, we like to kick somebody down when we stay down, man. And the people that oppress you, you're fighting tooth and nail to protect them. But other oppressed people, you just wanna just throw them out to the wolves like that. I don't get it, man. I don't get how, it's just like a person that been bullied all his life, and then somebody come a little more feeble than you want to be a bully. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be a bully now. I don't get it, man. But brother.
And like we own it. Like it's, like we built it. You didn't build that school. If it was your school, you could say that. If it was your school and and well, I take that back because in a sense you did build it
Taxes.
with taxes. I correct myself. Deuteronomy 27:19. Judgments must be righteous.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 27 and verse 19. Cursed be he that perverteth the judgment of the stranger, fatherless, and widow. And all the people shall say amen.
Deuteronomy 24:17.
Deuteronomy 24:17. Thou shalt not pervert the judgment of the stranger, nor of the fatherless, nor take a widow's raiment to pledge. But thou shalt keep going.
Ahead. You finishing that? You can finish that last verse.
But thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee thence. Therefore I command thee to do this thing.
And again, because you should know how it felt to be in that position. And that's pretty much what that position is. A stranger and someone that is fatherless and a widow, they pretty much in pretty much in the same position as a bondman or a handmaid. Because that's all they can do, because all the land is inherited. Ain't no coming in and you finna set up shop unless Joker's done sold their stuff off, and then you had that 7 year was it 7 years or was it Jubilees 50 years where all that stuff had to go back to the original owners.
Yeah, I think it's 7 years. Let me look it up. I think it's 7.
Let's look at Shalom, brother Mike.
Shalom, family.
Shalom, Mark.
Shalom.
Shalom, brother.
Look at Isaiah 1:17.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 17. And it reads, learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead for the widow.
Plead for the widow, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless. And again, that fatherless. And then we see these systems in play today. You pretty much, to receive the benefits, you pretty much have to be fatherless. Dealings with widows. 1 Timothy 5:1-16. And then we'll drop down to verse 21.
First Timothy 5. Shlakia. 1 Timothy 5:1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder woman as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all purity. Honor widows that are widows indeed. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show piety at home and to requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before God. Now she that is a widow indeed and desolate trusteth in God and continueth in supplications and prayers night and day. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. And these things give in charge, that they may be blameless. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he have denied the faith, and is worse than an infidel.
Wait a minute now. So he who doesn't take care of his own family has denied the faith and worse than an infidel. If is Paul gonna get this man anything who's not taking care of his family? Are there gonna be provisions for this individual who's not taking care of his family?
Negative.
Negative.
Keep going.
Let not a widow be taken into the number under 80 years old, having been the wife of one man, well reported of for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she have washed the saints' feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work. But the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax wanton against Christ, they will marry, having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith. And with all they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. I will therefore that the younger woman marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after Satan. If any man or woman that believeth have widows, let them relieve them, and let not the church be charged, that it may relieve them that are widows indeed. You say jump down to 23?
21.
23 21, Shalaki. I charge thee before God and the Lord Jesus Christ and the elect angels, that thou observe these things without preferring one before another, doing nothing by partiality.
All right, doing nothing by partiality. And so we see here, the older widows, the ones over 60, it's a good chance they not gonna get married again, so give them the provisions, you know what I'm saying? And if they have children or if they have nephews, then they need to go live with them, and seek provisions from them. If they've done those things that are, pleasing to the Lord, they've washed the saints' feet, and lodged strangers, and relieve those who done diligently in good work. But the younger ones, the younger widows, let them, because he almost like, man, eventually, man, these little jokers they faith ain't gonna be strong. They gonna go and get married. And be busybodies and tellers and so forth, etc. But let them go ahead and get married, and so those provisions don't be wasted on them. If they can get married, go ahead and get married, so that man can take care of them, and they can fall suit under that. But again, we see the provisions laid out for these widows here.
Hey,
and this in 1 Timothy. Go ahead, brother.
That precept is Leviticus 25:10, and ye shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family.
So 50 years.
Yeah, 50 years jubilee.
The water.
What's that pertaining to again?
The land, pretty much, after 50 years, that land has to go back. Like I was talking about in the other class, how, well, I may not have said, I might have said it to Brother Eleazar, but Ghana, you can't own the land.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you got to get that land back to these folks, and that's how Israel was. the branch, the land that belongs to the branch family, even if one of your grandkids done sat there and sold off the inheritance, after 50 years, that got to go back. They got to go back to the branch family. The Most High preserves the orphan, widow, and stranger. Jeremiah 49:11. Just some quick hitters, real quick.
I can read out if you need.
Yeah, go ahead, huh?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 9. And it shall come to pass at that day, saith the Lord, that the heart of the king shall perish, and the heart of the princes and the priests shall be astonished, and the prophet shall wonder.
49:11.
49.
Oh, 49. It's Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 11. And it reads, leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let the widows trust in me.
Psalms 146:9.
This is Psalms 146 and verse 9. It reads, the Lord preserveth the strangers. He relieveth the fatherless and widow. But the way of the wicked he turneth upside down.
Psalms 82:3.
Going to Psalm 82:3. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy.
Psalm 68:5.
Psalm 68:5. A father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation.
So, the Most High is going to make provisions for these individuals, especially in the land, because you can, a king is judged on the treatment of his people. If the people are down and out and suffering and looking all crazy within that land, then that's a reflection of the king. And so there's provisions made that even the poor and the widows and those that are being oppressed will still have provisions and be taken care of. Leviticus 19:33.
Leviticus 19:33. And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him.
Exodus 23:9.
Exodus. Exodus 23 and verse 9. Also, thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for you know the heart of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Egypt.
And with the current situation, we don't know what it's like to have to jump that gate. We don't know what it's like to escape oppression and go these great distances, these great, I don't know how these folks, with these mules and so forth, and how many people die trying to get over here, and even from other countries, man. Even I seen these two jokers froze to death trying to ride on the darn back of a cruise ship or something like that. And even the heavyweight champion, found out that. I'll talk about this later, but there's a point in Africa, in Northern Africa, in Europe, that it's only an 8-mile crossing. It's an 8-mile swim to get to the other side. In that Mediterranean area, kind of northern, kind of northern, northwestern type of Africa. It's a little valley, and the only reason they haven't put a they want to put a canal there, like the Suez Canal. What's the other canal? Panama Canal. They want to do that there, but they don't want to do that there. You know what I'm saying? Because of some political reasons and how it may strengthen those countries. But so a lot of people die trying to swim across that little area right there. That the heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou, he tried it 7 times. He tried it 7 times. He got over there the 7th time. And he was able to, you know what I'm saying, get through the gate and start a life in France. And then, you know, eventually he wanted to box, and eventually, he got a crazy story. He said before that, all he was doing was shoveling sand since he was a child.
Yeah, that would make him so strong.
That's what got it there. That's why you cannot let him connect. You cannot let that you had.
Shalakia.
Go ahead, brother.
And I think that blacks in this country, so-called blacks in this country, we have totally forgot, like, the 80s, the 70s, how a lot of these places, like when you go into these projects, how rough it was back in those days. Like, when you look at, a lot of these people whose grandparents now, they can, and I know it's like comparing apples and oranges, but they can tell you about these rough times. They can tell you, because even in the 70s, like, welfare wasn't just randomly being given. I remember they had lines for government cheese, man. People used to be standing miles a mile for a block of cheese. You know what I mean? Like, it was rough in certain cities with welfare. I mean, in black neighborhoods, and Hispanic neighborhoods during the 70s and the 80s. And I think that we done got so removed from that oppression to where a gift done destroyed the heart. You know what I mean? But I remember, man, when my mom and dad got a divorce, I remember my mom sitting in line for some cheese, man. Big block of cheese. I gotta admit, it make the best grilled cheese. But bruh, I gotta admit, it made some good grilled cheese. But bruh, but it was rough, man. It was rough back in those days, man. But one thing was for sure, we had each other, so it made it seem just a little more comfortable. You know what I mean? Because black, I think we was more unified then than we are now. But I hear, brother.
Lucky.
Go ahead, brother.
Hey, I think we the last of a dying breed. Like you said, man, we've been so far removed from this stuff, because I don't know if y'all familiar with the curb market over there on Edgewood. Back in the
What
day,
is it called?
man, the curb market, right out Edgewood.
Nah.
Wow, you ain't never heard of the curb market anyway.
Okay.
You used to go downstairs, and I remember standing in line and waiting for them folks to count out them food stamps. That when they was in the book form. You used to
paper.
count them out back then. Yeah. Standing in line and watching them folk count them stamps out, man. Like you said, the grilled cheese, the big old peppermint, they used to come in the box. And you break it up, the pieces still be big. The kick cereal, WIC vouchers. But
And but we used to know how to jug with them them book stamps. Like even the winos would be out there. They give you a $5 $5 stamp, say you can get $1 out of it. Yeah. And they know you got to give them back change. They got to give you back real money.
That's right.
5,400. 5,400.
Hey, Salakia, but I remember, man, they went them hug jugs. them little juicer was a quarter. You know, guy used to stand outside the store, man, get you a hug jug, bring back my 75 cents.
Yep. Yep.
You know,
so they can buy beer or buy alcohol or whatever. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's right. I eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. And we had abundance. Well, we thought it was abundance from what we had before that. But yeah, like you said, man, it's you know, I seen a video with this dude. He got his own tree company now. But he was saying he got a whole bunch of equipment, you know, to get the job done. But he was saying how his grandma had to bring in 100 pounds of he older gentleman now too. But he was saying how his grandma had to bring in 100 pounds of cotton a day. And he would be on her back. He would be on her back as a little kid, and she'd just be picking that cotton away. But we don't have memories of that. We don't know what that's like. We don't know what it's like to be in that sun. We don't know what it's like to sit up there and bend down all day picking cotton. We don't know and get paid nothing, you know, just enough to, like you said, to get a bologna sandwich. And my dad tells me about the house he grew up in. You could see the rats. The floor was open. You know, the floor, you had holes in the floor where the floor was open. You could see the rats, you know, going back and forth, and you had to make sure you wiped your mouth and wiped your teeth, and because they could mess around and be trying to get the food out your mouth. But he has those memories. Like you said, he's like I was saying, this, you know, we a dying breed. These kids now, man, these kids complaining about these kids living in mansions, they're celebrities, and they want to be in the hood. Nah, I don't want to be. I ain't living no mansion. I'm from the hood. And like I said, the hood ain't the hood no more, man. You know, they revitalizing these things and giving a certain amount to Section 8. So those who are on Section 8, they living in some some beautiful housing. You know, but and they tearing down like your Toby Grants and your Mechanivilles, and like I say, they rebuilding them, and then, you know, maybe do like 30% Section 8, and everybody else got to pay $2,000. Single working man got to pay $2,000. You know, but anyway, but that's how it works. That's how the provisions. That's how the provisions are ushered out, man. How was it in Egypt? Numbers 11 and 5.
Numbers 11 and verse 5. It reads, "We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic."
And the garlic, man. And we ate it freely. Give me
now our
Exodus
soul.
16:3.
Oh, Shalaki.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 3. And the children of Israel said unto them, "Would to God we have died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger."
Deuteronomy 15:15.
Deuteronomy 15 and 15. "And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondsman in the land of Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today."
And you know what? You know why he's saying, you know, thou shalt remember? He giving you a commandment, trying to make you remember, because you're gonna forget. And that's why we continue to go through the cycle that we went through, is because every time we were redeemed, every time we were brought out of these captivities, we forgot. We forgot, man. You know, and just like now, And what we was talking about in modern time, man, we have forgotten. You can put up as many African American museums you want to put up, but to these kids now, it's pretty much unbelievable. Ain't no way they can't really grasp what was happening. And it's hard for me. I ain't gonna say I could just sit up here and like I just had these visions of this. Most of this stuff just come from the movies. You know what I'm saying? So, but to hear them stories, like to hear those personal stories, and to have these things passed down, to see certain things, to see these plantation houses, it hit a little different. Abundance in Egypt. Exodus 1:6-14.
You got it up?
Yeah, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 6. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Bethlehem and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. They were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptian made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and all manner of service in the field. All their service, when they made them serve, was with rigor. And the king,
and you can see some jealousy here, that Israel grew more mightier than we. He had a problem with that. Not just him, but it said Egypt was grieved because of how the children of Israel were moving. And again, man, that's just like us. When we talking about these, we talking about the immigrants. When they start moving in our communities, moving in our land, why they have all these businesses, man, we get upset. How they got these businesses, man? They getting these businesses based off of what the captivity we went through and what our forefathers and foremothers went through, and we start looking a certain way, start feeling a certain way, man. These jokers going, after a while, they keep coming in. It's gonna be more of them than it is of us.
Hmm.
And we be putting on that same, same attitude, same mindset as the Egyptians had towards us. When they serving with rigor, when they doing a lot of the jobs we don't want to do. We do not want to sign up for. We do not want to be on that roof. There's some good money in that roof. We don't want to be up there. We don't want to be up there with that tar on that roof, man. I watched these jokers put up this shed. They were climbing on top of the shed with no ropes on. Shed like 12, 13 feet. I think they had magnetic shoes, but probably not. No one.
God. Yeah, right.
I'm like, man, these jokers crazy, man. You can't be up there like that, man. On no metal frame like that. Do not oppress the stranger. Jeremiah 7:6. Just quick hitters. We're gonna run through them. About 5-6 more slides.
Jeremiah 7 and 6. If ye oppress not the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after other gods to your hurt.
Finish that up. See what the next verse say.
Oh shoot, I was reading on the thing.
Okay, you good. You good. Jeremiah 22 and 3.
I can get it right quick.
You didn't read it off. We'll come back to it.
In Jeremiah chapter 22 and 3. Thus said the Lord, execute judgment and righteousness, and deliver the spoil out of the hand of the oppressor, and do no wrong, do no violence to the stranger, fatherless, nor the widow, neither shed innocent blood in this place.
Let me read that verse 7. It says Jeremiah 7 and 7.
It says, then will I cause you to dwell in this place, in the land that I gave to your fathers forever and ever.
All right, then I'll let you do it. Then I'll let you dwell there. But you got to follow these ordinances. All right. Verse 22 thus says the Lord, execute judgment and righteousness. All right. Deliver the spoiled out of the hand of the oppressor. Do no wrong, do no violence to the stranger, the fatherless, nor the widow. Neither shed innocent blood in this place. I'm going to look into that innocent blood because I think this is like baby's blood. I want to say it's like children's blood. We'll be talking about that innocent blood, but I had to look into it. It's just something that just hit my brain. Zechariah 7 and 10.
Zechariah 7 and 10. And oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart.
Come on now. All right, widow, fatherless, stranger, nor the poor, nor imagine any evil against a brother in your heart. Malachi 3 and 5.
It's Malachi chapter 3, verse 5. And I will come near to you to judge. I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against false swearers, and against those that are oppressed the hirelings and his wages, the widow and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, saith the Lord of hosts.
Come on now. He says, listen, those who oppress the hireling in his wages. You know, you can't be oppressing people with these payments. Or he's gonna send a swift witness. He'll be a swift witness against you. Nor turn aside the stranger from his right. Fear not, and fear not me, saith the Lord of hosts. Those who don't fear God, and you ain't gonna fear him if you're doing that. If you're oppressing the hireling, if you going against the adulterers, false swears, the widow, the fatherless, and turn aside the stranger. You don't fear God. Love the stranger. Deuteronomy 10:19.
Deuteronomy 10 and 19. Love ye therefore the stranger, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Deuteronomy 23:7.
Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land.
Leviticus 19:34.
Leviticus 19:34. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you. We need to read that more often, Shalakia. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. That's a cut right there.
Share statutes. Let's look at Exodus 12 and 45, and then drop down to 49.
God, it's the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 45. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof. One house shall be to him that is a homeborn, and a stranger that should join it among you.
All right, one law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. Leviticus 18:26. And we have to look into that stranger among you, that dwelleth among you, sojourneth among you. And it's looking like more of those within your house.
You want me to carry
If
that
someone-
49 up?
come
Wait,
on.
Oh, that at Exodus 12 and 49. It says, one law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you.
Leviticus 18:26.
This is Leviticus chapter 24, verse 22. Ye shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger as for one of your own country, for I am the Lord your God.
Shalaki, I was reading that Leviticus 26, 18 and 26.
26.
My thing was muted.
Oh, okay.
Did we read it or no?
No, I don't think we read it.
Let me get it. 18 and 26. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you.
All right, share statutes. All right, if you joining among Israel, you're gonna have to keep these statutes. And then we read the 24, 22. Go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead. When you finish, I got a precept on that.
I'm just gonna go over this. Ye shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger, as for one of your own country. For I'm the Lord your God. Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Isaiah 56 and verse 6. Also the sons of the strangers that join themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servant. Everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and take hold of my covenant, even them will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in the house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon my altar, for my house shall be called the house of prayer for all people. Hey,
Come on. These some more precepts here, man. We ain't got to go over these. Just, nailing home, again, some of the feast days. And the laws dealing with the feast days with strangers. Also, you can just write them down if you want to write them down, just for time purposes. I'll get through these last 3 slides. But it's a continuation on shared statutes, especially with those sojourning in the land, sojourning among you, attaching themselves to Israel. Here's some judgments. Share some of the judgments. Numbers 35:15.
Book of Numbers chapter 20. Say 25. I can't hardly see it on the screen.
35:15.
35:15. These 6 others shall be a refuge, both for the children of Israel and for the stranger, and for the sojourner among them, that every one that killeth any person unaware may flee thither.
And this is dealing with a certain law. We might have to go back and just look at some of these laws. I was telling y'all about my buddy. He started a tree company, and one of the workers died. One of the workers fell out of a tree. They had certain cities, the Most High had ordained certain cities that one could go to if something like that happened. If you kill somebody unawares, accidentally something happened, you could take refuge in these 6 cities, but you had to get out of Israel. And y'all can look a little more into that. But I found that interesting, man. I forgot all about that. Deuteronomy 1:16. And why you want to leave? You know,
Because they family, they gonna be
They
out
gonna-
your head.
they gonna be after your head, man.
Yeah.
Care nothing about that? What you talking about? An accident? No, man. Be after your head, man. Deuteronomy 1:16.
Deuteronomy 1:16. And I charged your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother and the stranger that is with him. Keep going. Hello?
Shalaki. Nah, Judges. I'm in Joshua 20:9.
God, this Joshua chapter 20, verse
It's pretty
9.
much the same thing, but it's gonna give you a little more detail on it.
These were the cities appointed for all the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourn among them, that whosoever killeth any person at unawares might flee thither, and not die by the hands of the avenge of blood, until he stood before the congregation.
Yeah, before he get killed, to make sure he pretty much got a protective custody before he stand before the judgment. And they hear the matter. They get the witnesses together, and he has a fair trial. Leviticus 20:2.
Leviticus 20:2. And again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones.
Leviticus 24:16. So even if you're a stranger and you want to worship your God, you want to worship Moloch, you do that in the land, you'll be stoned to death.
God. This Leviticus chapter 24, verse 16. And he that blasphemeth the name of the Lord, he shall surely be put to death. And all the congregation shall certainly stone him, as well as the stranger, as he that is born in the land. And he blaspheme the name of the Lord, shall be put to death.
Shall be put to death. And we see an example of that of the young, the half Egyptian who blasphemed the name.
Shalakia.
Go ahead, brother.
And that's eerie familiar in the blasphemy of the Holy Ghost. Like that's like when you understand in the ancient world, if you blaspheme the Most High name, you got put to death. Remember, but Christ said all sin could be forgiven unto man, but blaspheming the Holy Ghost, that's eerie familiar. It's almost like the same talk, you know what I mean? But this one's talking more on the spiritual realm, and this is talking more on the physical realm. But it's kind of familiar. It's kind of similar. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's death. It's death. What we at? Numbers 15:30.
Numbers 15:30. But the soul that doeth but the soul that doeth aught presumptuously, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproacheth the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
Numbers 15:26. Whether he born in the land or he a stranger, he shall be cut off, man. You reproach the Lord, he shall be cut off from his people.
This is Numbers chapter 15, verse 26. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the stranger that's joined among them, and all the people were ignorant.
We need some more context on that. I don't know what's going on, but I see a forgiveness and ignorance given to the children of Israel and the stranger. But let me see. For the priest should make an atonement and should be forgiven them. So they should bring the offering sacrifice made by fire. It looks like it's going into. And if you observe and not to observe to do all these commandments spoken about, even all that the Lord hath commanded you by Moses, from that day the Lord commanded Moses, and henceforth the word among the generations. Then it shall be if aught be committed. Okay, if a mistake is made unintentionally, and the community was unaware of it, the whole community must present a young bull. That's a different law there. That's say yeah, go through some of these laws. But Numbers 15:24, I read it real quick. It says, then it shall be, if aught be committed by ignorance without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one young bullock for a burnt offering and sweet savor unto the Lord, with his meat offering, drink offering, according to the manner, and one kid of the goats, or a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for all the congregation. So if it all happens among the congregation, that offering by the priest will not just cover Israel, but it'll cover the stranger also. We went through this, man. Is thy brother waxing poor and falling in decay, then thou shalt relieve him. And that yea though he be kind of trips us up a lot. A stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. And I was just going through here to show that word yea is also used as even, but yea though. Also, you see it at the bottom here, you see it's used as 3 times. It's probably better translated as though he be a stranger. If your brother falls poor, you treat him as you would a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. And you know, we've read many verses within the class about strangers sojourning with thee, and those that sojourn with thee will be as one of the lands. And then here goes some comparative text here. If your brother becomes poor or cannot maintain himself with you, you shall support him as though he were a stranger and a sojourner, and he will live with you. If your brother becomes destitute and cannot sustain himself among you, you will support him as an alien. You know, if your brother is grown poor and has, you can look at comparative text and see what that is. But we try to we'll use this, and we'll make every verse that I just read with a stranger in it, we'll make that Israelites. James 1:27, it's the last verse here.
James 1:27. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world.
All right, to visit the Father. Pure religion is to visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. And, you know, I did all that to say, man, really don't nobody want to, ultimately don't nobody want to help that single man that's capable of going out here and getting his money to take care of himself. There aren't provisions for him. There ain't provisions for him in this government system, in this welfare system, and there's not a lot of provisions for him in the Most High's welfare system, because there's certain things that were implemented as far as you having a certain inheritance, that you should have these things. And a man who don't work don't what? He don't eat. A man who don't take care of his own family is worse than the infidel and is left to faith. So ultimately, don't nobody like doing it. Not even the government. And I yield with that, man. Y'all brothers got anything in closing?
Hey, Salaki, I was just thinking about you talking about the immigrants up there in Chicago, and what they were giving them. They got over here, man. Crossing that border. I just want to read that article. It ain't long at all.
Go ahead, bro.
It says, now this was when December. It was October 3rd. Oh, they don't put a stop to all that. What was going on there first. It says this week, 41 buses have arrived in Chicago, bringing the total number of migrants in shelter 11,000, with 4,000 sleeping on police station floors and standing airports. Notably, 30% of migrants in Chicago are children, with the majority of them attending Chicago public schools. Currently, the state of funding temporary housing, including rented apartments and homes for migrants. The state is providing up to $9,000 in rental assistance over a 6-month period, which includes assistance with moving in and starter kit to furnish the apartment. That rent lasts for 6 months, and ideally, people would have stayed their legal process, secured legal work authorized to be able to sustain that apartment. And so the cost, or I guess the payment toward the landlord based on the market rate, is based on the configuration of the apartment. How many rooms were it located? All these things, and so it varies from place to place. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's why them people in Chicago were going ham. We've been real. These people coming over here and rental assistance. But they put a stop to all that. A lot of the people went back home because they were too cold.
I seen that too. I seen a lot of them going back to Venezuela and other places, but they gave them 6 months rent. So it said 6 months valued at $9,000.
Gone. Love furnishing. Help with moving.
Oh, they went home and built the house. Yeah, you get a couple families together, that's $9,000 a piece.
Well, I don't think they gave them. Did they give them cash, or did they give them like a voucher?
No, it was all. It was all through the I guess the landlord and the apartment company, the government.
Section 8. Yeah, gave you 6 months free, and but why we going crazy about? I still don't get it, man. Why we going crazy about that? I get it, but man, people need help, man. I get it though, man. I get it, man.
Hey, Shalaki. I think. No, go ahead, brother. You go ahead. I'll
just gonna make a quick point, man. I put a lot of miles on the road every day, and I guarantee you that the Mexicans are buying more new trucks than anybody. I see more Mexicans driving new Silverados, Denali's, Dualies than anybody. They making good bread out here, man. They doing their thing. Yeah.
And Shalaki, I think that I think, and I hate to say this, and I hope I don't offend nobody, but I think that black folks love oppression. And that's why as you was going through those precepts and talk about the children of Israel and what they was doing, I say, man, we gotta be these people. Like it's like if you had to close your eyes and think of a people that match more up with these children of Israel, man, it had to be the blacks in America. Because even with the PPP and all that stuff was going on, and $1,400
preach.
You know what I mean? all that money was coming through. You know what I mean? I don't even see a freaking starter first in the community. I don't see nothing that they did with the money that benefit their people. Like, and so when we see other people moving in, and then we want to always talk about what they got and we ain't got. Man, come on, man. That whole pandemic was a blessing and a curse at the same time, brothers. And we did nothing. That's what I'm saying. Even if they was to give reparation, they could give it, because all we gonna do is give it back. That's all we gonna do is give it right back. It ain't gonna be enough rims to go around. It ain't gonna be enough Escalades to buy, because that's all we gonna do is give it back. So I just think that we just love to hear ourselves talk. We just want to be mad at somebody else because of our shortcoming. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. My daughter was going through this thing. Y'all ain't do nothing for me, and and my wife had to check her. Like, look, had a this, you know what I mean? Just nothing else to be said, because like the Bible said, we trust in oppression and we stay thereon, man. God have showed us, even in this captivity, He give us a little bit of grace in our bondage. And what do? We squander it. We do nothing. Then we want to complain, talking about there ain't no God. You know what I mean? Even God blessing, we still complain. So like Israel, all the blessings God did for them, and they'll go right round and do it again. Just like, man, it's just mind-boggling, man. And it's really kind of disheartening, because we are worst enemies, man. And we have always been our worst enemies. We can't come together to save our life, man. Now you're a good lesson, brother.
Yeah, man. We forget about that PPP money, man. That money rolling out here, man. That unemployment. A lot of jokers still ain't paid rent. A lot of jokers still living rent free. I seen a video where they were saying that all the evictions that are in DeKalb County, but they backed up. It's like 1,200 evictions that are backed up. They don't know when the sheriff's gonna be able to get out there. It may be another year. You done filed for, you're a landlord, you done filed for an eviction, but it may be another year before the people can come out and evict you. And then all the people that were, man, we giving that free assistance, man, that free rent assistance, all the people that were getting that. Now these jokers done got 6 months and we going crazy, man. But yeah, like I say, we forget, man. And it wasn't like that for everybody, man. Shoot, I was salty, man. I was getting unemployment, but I was salty because I was getting unemployment, but I was still working. But I was getting, it was beneficial because I'm making double the money. But I wanted to be home picking the bobo and barbecuing and,
Man, that unemployment was better. It was better. You'd rather been unemployed than working. They would give you like $1,400 a week.
Man. I wasn't getting that much, but
900. Sorry about that. My wife just corrected. 900 a week. But still.
Yeah.
Still 900 and you just sit on your butt, bro.
Trying to come up with a master plan. But a lot of us just kick the bobo. Like I said, a lot of us just kick the bobo. And and squandered that money away, and then got into the PPP loans. But a lot of people got away with that. Shoot, a lot of people got away with that money there. And we go crazy about these folks getting these $9,000. They get 6 months to start their life. But again, man, we forget, man. And I think the more these generations happen, the most to the most that comes, man, we gonna get farther and farther away from really understanding what we went through, man. And it may be harder to sell this thing, man, to be 100, because these kids, they so privileged. What's the word I'm looking for, man? Where they feel like they owe something. Entitled, man. So entitled that they think that they deserve something. That's how Israel is with the Most High, man. No matter, oh man, we just deserve it. He gonna give it to us, man. We gonna do it. We ain't got to do nothing, man. Gotta be careful with that, man. But I yield, man. Y'all brothers got anything else?
Yeah, one more thing. Like you were making that point about Israel being entitled. What I'm saying, man, like in this captivity, we supposed to be really with humility, not with pride, man. We puffed up in captivity. We puffed up. Like we the prisoners puffed up. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I say in the land of captivity, they should bethink themselves, right? We need to be thinking on the Most High name, man. We need to be thinking on how good the Most High is. We need to be thinking on how we have messed up and are sorry that we have sinned against our God, man. Not being puffed up, talking about who going to captivity and do. That's puffed up. We don't have no room to speak or talk because the Most High have been showing us grace when we have did nothing for it. We are not deserving of it, but we want to beat on our chest like we standing on the top of the entire state building like King Kong. Israel, humble yourself, man. The Most High looking for such to worship in spirit and truth, and we got to humble ourselves. Man, good lesson, brother, man. I yield.
Oh, man, all praises. That's right, man. We got to humble ourselves. We pray this thing was edifying, man. Appreciate all those that stuck out and hung with us. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, man. We'll be on Bring It Out TV Friday at 8 o'clock. Israel, shalom.
Shalaki, 7:30. I took it back to 7:30.
Took it back to 7:30.
Hey, Shalaki, what about the next holiday? Holy day.
Oh yeah, Con, you trying to arrange something for
the feast dedication?
Yeah, Con. You pick one of those days to try to link up.
Yeah, Con. I'll reach out to everybody tomorrow, man. We'll try to do something for the feast dedication. Most I will.
Most I will. Shalom, Israel.
All right, shalom.